All right, kids, exploring functions a little bit more. So yesterday, or earlier in the previous lesson, we were just talking about whether things are functions or not. Now we're going to actually apply those functions a little bit. So really what it should say up here is this is x and this is g of x. And whenever you see something like this is g of 8. And what that means is this 8 is the input. This is the x value. So you look for this 8 in the x zone, and you see it's there, and you see it goes to 2. So g of 8 equals 2. If I'd asked you g of 1, you'd say it was also 2. G of negative 4 would be 5. Okay? Now I'm going to add another question here. Find x if f of x equals 5. So now we're going in the other direction. So it says f of x is 5, so we look for the 5 and, this should say g of x. Find x if g of x is 5. So we look for 5 in this g of x section, and look, where did it come from? Oh, it came from the negative 4. X is negative 4. So there's no work to show on that. H of 3, remember, this is the input. Don't look over here. H of 3, this is the input. So H of 3, you find the 3, there it is. What does it go to? It goes to 6. So H of 3 is 6. The range of H of x, remember, range is the y values, which is the H, this column over here. But you always list this from smallest to biggest, and you don't list the repeats more than once. Just list them one time. So that's our range. Now we're going to work with some equations down here. Okay. Given the following functions, whoops, I scrolled a little bit too much. So we have 5 different functions that we're using. And you see f of 4, so again, this is the input, this is the x. So I'm going to find the f function up here, obviously it's this first one here. And wherever there's an x, I'm going to replace it with the 4. And I'm just evaluating. You see, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. F of 4 is 9. Same thing here. Now I find the k function, and wherever there's x, I replace it with negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3 is 3. 3 minus 3, of course, is 0. And I get that as my answer. Now I'm going to stick this in. Say I'm looking for the h function. So you're just evaluating here. It's pretty simple. You're just plugging in. All right. Let's see if I can. It's going to be hard for me to share all this stuff, but okay, g of negative 1. Remember, g of negative 1, there's the g function. X squared minus 1, it says. Okay. So I got to put negative 1 in for x, but I got to put parentheses around that negative 1. All right? Put parentheses. Now, negative 1 squared is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Now, m of 0, this is an interesting one. Notice how it's not a typo here. M of x is 5, but there's no x over here to plug anything into. So m of 0 is just 5. It's just this constant value. But that means m of a million would be 5. M of negative 2 would be 5. M of cloud would be 5. M of lightning bolt would be 5. It's just 5, no matter what you stick in there, because there is no x to change it. This one is a little bit weird, but look at number 3. The first part of number 3. F of 4, we went ahead and looked at the f function, and we replaced the x with 4. So now we're still looking at the f function, but now we're going to replace the x value with a. So this will become 2a plus 1. Now we can't combine 2a plus 1, so we're actually done. This is called evaluating a function, what we just did there. So on the back side, we got some more problems. Whoops. My bad. And we're using the same 5 functions. But you see here it says find x when h of x is 5. So h of x is defined as negative 3x plus 4. So h of x is negative 3x plus 4. I'm just replacing h of x with this, setting it equal to 5. Okay, and now I solve. So when I have to find x, there's a little bit more work involved. It's not just evaluating, we're actually doing some solving. So we move this 4 over. We get negative 3x equals 1. X equals negative 1/3. So you get a fraction for that, but that's okay. Here you have f of x equal to h of x. So we're going to take this f of x, 2x plus 1, set it equal to h of x, and now we just solve that. I'm going to move these over. And at the same time, well, I'll do it the next step. And I get a fraction again, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to call it there on this one because the stuff on the bottom we're going to save for later. We are going to do it, but it's going to come a little bit later on. And don't worry about those last problems. So we'll call it there. All right.